What's up you guys, it's Joelle and I am so excited to present to you this video that has been long awaited, and that is about the Asian American experience at Dartmouth, which is one of the questions I received the most from you guys. And so I've been trying to share my experiences with you guys, but I know that my experience only speaks for myself. So I sent out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, asking any Dartmouth friends who'd like to be interviewed or just send me videos answering questions about their experiences to give you guys a broader understanding of what life might look like as an Asian American on campus at Dartmouth. So that being said, some important things to understand with this data I've collected is that it is self-selected. These people who are speaking volunteered. You'll notice that everyone here is Chinese or Korean, East Asian. For those of you guys who might not know this, Asians refer to a huge variety of people. There's a number of different types of Asian. So it's interesting to note that the people who decided to speak were all East Asian. Might tell you something about the population at Dartmouth. Third thing to note is that I said these are Asian American experiences, meaning that none of these friends who decided to speak were international students. These friends who all volunteered were actually all from California, which I thought was really interesting. So if that gives you a better sense of where they're coming from and where they're going to, that's important to note as well. An important disclaimer I want to make is that this video is in no way, shape, or form meant to be a bash on Dartmouth. I love Dartmouth. Let that be known. I'm not here to have unproductive conversations just criticizing an institution, but what I am here to try to do is share with you guys important information that might be helpful for making decisions for college admissions or whatever. And I wouldn't be mad if someone at Dartmouth saw this and decided to enact certain changes in their club, organization, or in the overall administration. And the reason also that I say that is that this video is not Dartmouth specific. Yes, that these issues talked about and these experiences all happened at Dartmouth, but really these issues are worldwide of prejudice and racism or whatever, and however that manifests. Whether you're in another Ivy or just another higher institution or in the workplace. Overall, what I hope to achieve with this video is that you guys applying to colleges or just curious about Dartmouth would feel better informed about what it is like to be Asian in that area and feel encouraged. These people speaking are all lovely, very strong, independent people, so I hope you're able to learn from them and gain some wisdom from what they say. And I do hope that at the end of the day you feel empowered to really be proud of your identity and look for the strengths in that. So with all that being said, let's just get on with the video. Oh yeah.
So when I was in high school, I kind of resented my own identity when other people would say things about me that, you know, suggested that I might be more Korean American than I was American. It sometimes made me more sad than I should have been.
My town was primarily Asian, and so it wasn't something about myself that stood out until I came here.
I grew up in a white conservative town, and so I think I thought that being white was like the only way I could fit in. I remember asking my mom like if I could get like blue contacts or like dye my hair blonde, just because like the standard of beauty is white in America.
Well, at Dartmouth I minor in Chinese, so I've taken a lot of Chinese classes. I end up going on the FSP to Beijing. I hope to continue learning more about my Chinese cultural background.
When I came to Dartmouth, I think, you know, you have so many different conversations with people about culture and about who you are, and you have these deep conversations. And I think I learned two things. Number one, I am Korean. I can't change it, and it really affects the way that I live my life. Learning to be okay with that and understand was the second thing that I learned.
I internalized this like resentment towards my Asian American identity, which was frustrating. But I came to Dartmouth and I met this girl from Korea who was like, oh, I don't want to be a part of KSA, Korean Student Association, because I don't want to be associated with Korean people. And I heard that and I was so angry. And then I realized that's exactly what I did.
During my freshman year, somewhere around the 7th time, I got asked if I was an international foreign student.
Oh, really?
I realized that like, oh, okay, maybe I'm a little bit different.
And I realized that like I'm so proud to be a Korean American, and like I genuinely wouldn't be anything else.
I would say I'm pretty proud of my cultural background, so for others to perceive me negatively was hurtful, but at the same time it wasn't like I tried to hide that side of myself.
I think in the moment it felt negative because it was tough realizing like, wow, I'm not the majority. People view me differently just because I'm not white. But in the long run, like in like the holistic sense, it was like very, very beneficial just because I never really had a sense of who I was as a Korean American individual, but now I present myself proudly.
And I think it affects me religiously in that, like, I'm a Korean Christian. Korean churches tend to have a particular interest in community that might not be unique, but has definitely affected the way that I view Christianity.
I'm very actively involved in my dance group, and my dance group is an Asian dance troupe. So in that sense, it plays such a prominent role in my life that I'm thinking about something that I got drawn into because of my cultural background.
The fraternity that I'm affiliated in, it is predominantly white, so it is definitely like something that I am aware of, like how much diversity needs to be promoted in that social setting.
I think initially when I came to Dartmouth, it played the biggest role because people didn't know me, people knew what I looked like, right? And so like they would make all these assumptions about me, and like I remember for like the first like couple months, like my like white friends would have to introduce me to other white people or to other people in general for like me to be recognized as like an existing figure in that space.
Something a first year said to me the other day really resonated. She asked, all of my friends are Asian, like, am I doing something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? It really struck a chord because it made me realize that yes, a lot of my close friends are Chinese or Asian American, and it's not something I ever perceived as a problem. A lot of people are drawn to other people of similar backgrounds or people they can relate to. And I think those were the people I was drawn to. In that sense though, it's not something I consciously think about.
I'm really involved in like the Korean Student Association, so definitely most of my closest friends are from that group, so every single day I'm interacting with people that are the same as me, whether it be like international Koreans or Korean Americans.
It's really put a lot of pressure on the way I go about my life at Dartmouth. There's a kind of like subconscious worry that like maybe I'll be like ostracized by my Asian peers for doing something a little bit different.
But I think like over time I've like been able to establish my like myself as a person rather than like for my race. And I think that's helped me a lot in terms of like connecting with other people and like having people recognize me for like my person and not just like how I look.
Sometimes I just like scan the room that I'm in and I'm just like, wow, like I'm like one of 3 Asians in this whole entire room. So definitely on a day-to-day basis I'm very, very aware of it because it's kind of hard not to be in this environment.
We don't have much racial diversity on this campus, so probably changing that.
I would really like to see the student body learn to listen more, but also first, more primarily, learn how to invite conversation organically. Difficult conversations, because I think that's a hallmark of a good community.
Number one, I think accepting a much more diverse like student body.
Putting people of color in leadership positions that are visible to the public. I think it's hard for people who are afraid that they won't find a community at Dartmouth to see there are no people in power who are people of color.
I would love to see people across like the racial spectrum do their own thing and not care so much about, these tropes are supposed to fit in. And, this isn't that easy. I think you'll naturally realize that your Asian identity is really important and you'll learn more about that. But I think also having different identities on campus and different like groups of people that you hang out with because of something that you're really passionate about or you really enjoy is really important.
Maybe just making a lot of these like social settings just more open to everybody, like racial minorities, like sexual minority, anybody like a minority community, because a lot of the dominant social spaces like Greek life is like very heavily predominantly white, and it's just kind of like a self-reinforcing environment.
I'm just really disappointed in the lack of diversity among the faculty of this campus, just because in many ways it reflects the lack of an Asian studies or Asian American studies program on this campus, which I think as an Ivy League school we really should have.
Be proud of your Asian American identity. It took me so long to get to that point.
If I don't learn to respect myself and respect the culture and respect how that makes me as a person, how can I expect to respect other cultures?
Take the opportunity to learn about yourself and your identity, because in the end people are going to express subconsciously how they expect you to act or feel or think, and you should really just be processing that internally and making critical decisions about what you want to act like.
Give yourself some time and put some effort into learning more about your Asian heritage and background. When you're doing that, you'll find a community that you might never have discovered.
It's so easy to get sucked into this like Western mindset where like I've got to be white to succeed. I just got to not be Asian to be cool. It really hurts me to see other Asian Americans or other Asians just completely throwing away their identity. So my biggest piece of advice would just be to like remember your roots and never forget them, and just be proud of who you are.
In college, your communities are so intentional that like you can choose who you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with good people and not people who will just like want you for your money or how you look or whatnot.
Make sure to not try too hard to like fit in what you think Dartmouth expects of you. Like, I definitely think there's a trend that's like, you know, as a freshman, you're very like insecure to a certain degree. If you can get over that phase like as quickly as possible, you'll just like enjoy your time at Dartmouth a lot more.
If anything, like constantly check yourself in terms of like why you're doing the things you're doing. Do them for good intentions, just because like your life is like you're not gonna live long enough to like be wasting time on doing literally anything else. It's not easy by being a minority anywhere, and it's a labor that like you'll experience, but it's a labor that'll connect you and help you grow in like exponential ways.